Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. Every single week I break down the latest in Star Wars content that includes, but is not limited to, the comics, novels, TV series, and more. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another one in the future. That being said, we have one new comic to talk about this week, but it is a big one. This is Age of Republic Special number 1, and it includes not one character story, but a total of 4 spread out across 3 stories. We have a Mace Windu story, we have an Asajj Ventress story, and a Captain Rex and a Jar Jar Binks story. Who would have thought about that one? So let's start off with the first one. We have a Mace Windu story called The Weapon, and Mace Windu is captured purposefully so he can bring down this regime of mercenaries. This is before the events of the Phantom Menace, because we know that Chancellor Valorum is in charge. There is no trade federation in this story at all. We have Mace Windu, who the enemies think are completely powerless because they think they have destroyed his lightsaber, but that is not true, because we learn a lot about the lightsaber, about how Mace Windu is able to use the Force to reconstruct his lightsaber and freeze these kids and topples this regime with this leader. We have the rest of the Jedi come into his location and he alerts them, and we have a nice time for a successful mission for the Jedi. What I really liked about this issue is, first off, you get this nice little flashback to Huang from the Clone Wars. Yes, that's droid. We see a flashback of Mace Windu building his first lightsaber with that droid. I really like how we get these stories that are before the Phantom Menace. Right now we have a couple things that are before the Phantom Menace, such as the Darth Maul miniseries. We have a Qui-Gon Jinn comic, and we have an upcoming Master and Apprentice novel with Obi-Wan and Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. That's about the only content we have before that. So I like to see what the relative peaceful Guardians of the Galaxy are doing at that point in time. They're, getting rid of these evil people trying to save these kids, and it's working out pretty well. We see the savagery of Mace Windu just tearing these people apart with his lightsaber. When he does get it back, he is a really, really good warrior, and we definitely see that in this one. So I enjoyed this one quite a bit. The next story we have is with Asajj Ventress. This one is called Sisters, and this one takes place right after Asajj Ventress becomes betrayed in the Clone Wars series. She has her entire clan killed by General Grievous. So she goes to the ways of bounty hunting to try to stay low, and that's where we pick up in this issue, as she's doing this job. Then she gets an alert that Ahsoka Tano herself has a bounty on her. So we know this is like right around that time that Ahsoka is being hunted before she leaves the Jedi Order. So we have Asajj, who is going to get this bounty on Ahsoka. She has versed her many times before in the Clone Wars. But then she comes across this thing in the alleyway of this fight, this bickering that's going on between these helpless females and this big Zizor Weequay looking dude, and well, she decides to intervene because it causes some like PTSD in her head, where she's thinking about the Night Sisters and about how she used to be a Night Sister and she used to get picked on. She doesn't want to have that for anybody, so she straight up cuts the guy's arm off, shows these girls what it's capable of to be a warrior. It sends them with a message saying, stick together, you guys are sisters. That's how we used to be in my neck of the woods, and that's how it's going to be there. So this story was awesome. I really enjoyed the overall aesthetic, man. This was a great looking piece of art in here, because each one of these stories had a different writer and a different artist. I like the look of this one the best. It was really good. All the stories in this had great artwork, but I like this one. It stood out the most to me. The dinginess of the lower levels of the Coruscant really stuck out. Just the heroic shots of Asajj Ventress dual wielding her red lightsabers. This really goes into her persona about, she will stick up for the people that can't help themselves. Even though she's, portrayed as an evil type of person, she still has a heart. And we learn a lot about that in the Dark Disciple novel, which is really good, and I highly recommend reading that. And the last one we have is 501+1. This is all about Captain Rex and Jar Jar Binks. They go to none other than Mimban. Yes, that's the same planet from Solo Star Wars story, except now we are in a Clone Wars, so the droids are there. The Republic are the good guys at this time, and the reason why Jar Jar is there is because he is actually posing as sort of a translator or an ambassador to the other people, since he is a swamp dweller. They figured they'd bring their swamp dweller over there, and hopefully they can have some peace talk with the Mimbanese or something like that. So anyway, it's all about Rex, really. When it comes down to it, it's really cool because we see Domino Squadron in there with Hardcase and a couple others, which is really neat, kind of cool continuity. And they're going there, they're trying to take out this generator. Things are getting really hot Rex is showing some absolute leadership and bravery and actually saying this is not a good situation. A lot of our guys are dying. Our Jedi actually just got killed. So we're going to call for an exfiltration. We're going to get our guys out of here. But I'm going to stay and I'm going to charge at this generator by myself. And I'm going to try to take it out even if it kills me. So we have Captain Rex really just going above and beyond the line of duty. And next thing you know, Jar Jar Binks saves his butt because Jar Jar Binks somehow gets a hold of that Jedi's lightsaber and cuts a couple of the droids in half before clumsily losing his lightsaber that falls in the hands of Rex. And then we have this going back and forth between Jar Jar and Captain Rex hands him his big-ass gun. He uses dual-wield blasters, and they go in to the sunset, taking out as many droids as they possibly can. And, well, they survive, obviously. But it was pretty awesome seeing these guys working together and seeing Jar Jar in practically the most badass thing I've ever seen him, and just going in and just shooting people with this minigun, cutting people in half with a lightsaber. So if you are a fan of Jar Jar Binks, you're going to love this issue, especially if you're a fan of the clones. It's great seeing an Age of the Republic clone-centric story. I'm really happy that we got this as well. Out of all these stories, it's really hard to tell like which one I like the most. I will probably say the Mace Windu one because I love Mace Windu and I didn't really like the miniseries that much. I like this little story about Mace Windu more than the entire 5-issue miniseries, which probably says a lot. So yeah, definitely pick this up. I think the Age of Republic comics are doing absolutely incredible. Like every single issue is topping itself. I enjoyed the Jango Fett one last week. The Qui-Gon Jinn was good. Obi-Wan and Darth Maul have been excellent. Next month we have to look forward to Count Dooku and Anakin Skywalker, and after that we have Padme and General Grievous. So a lot to look forward to in Age of the Republic, and I highly recommend picking any of these up right now. So moving on to the TV side of things, we did have Star Wars Resistance come back from its mid-season break with the episode called Bibo, which is Season 1, Episode 11. This one is all about basically a gigantic Kraken attacking the Colossus, and it has to do with Niku having this little baby of this big Kraken, and well, lots of chaos ensues. It's very much an action-centric episode that focuses more on Niku, and you can see my review of that particular episode on the channel right now. And moving over to my questions of the week, this one comes to me from Cam Carroll on YouTube. He asked, hashtag Star Wars Weekly, not necessarily a canon related question or anything like that, but what do you think is the best scene in all of Star Wars movies, and what individual performance from an actor in a single movie do you think is the best we've seen in Star Wars? Wow, that is a great question. Thank you so much for that question, dude. It's really making me think, because out of all these movies, there's just so much to choose from. This one's pretty easy for me though. I will go back to Return of the Jedi. It was the first Star Wars movie that I ever watched, and the Sarlacc pit is my favorite, particularly the moment when Luke is standing on the plank of the skiff right in front of the pit of Carkoon, and well, you see, him giving the salute to all his friends, and is that going to be the end of Luke Skywalker? He's walking the plank into the Sarlacc pit. Oh my god. And we see R2 firing that the laser sword, the good old lightsaber, and he's doing that backflip, and you cue the music to John Williams, and it's just like, oh man, it is so good just seeing Luke kick so much ass, just cutting people down in a Sarlacc pit. You have Boba Fett flying around. It is like my favorite moment of Star Wars for sure, hands down. Moving over to the best acting, I think this one's even harder really, because there is a lot of good acting in Star Wars. I'll do a couple runner-ups. The first one being, let's say, in Rogue One, actually. You have Jyn Erso and you have Galen Erso, and that whole holocron speech, or, hologram speech about the Death Star and about how he has been hiding this from everybody for the right moment to reveal it. And you just see Jyn Erso break down. I thought that was such a strong performance by her, not even saying a word, but just seeing her kind of slowly realize what is going on, and having all this hatred for her father just slowly melt away as he's just opening up all the secrets to the Death Star to her. I thought that was excellent. Another thing I really liked is, let's see, another runner-up. I would have to go with Revenge of the Sith and Mustafar and Obi-Wan saying, we were brothers, I loved you, and all this stuff, and you see Anakin just melting away in the lava saying, I hate you, and you just, Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor in that moment was just so good. Like, you feel so much sadness for him and for Anakin and all they've been through and how it could end up like that. And probably the best moment of acting in Star Wars is, I would probably have to say, The Empire Strikes Back and Luke's reaction to the reveal of Vader being his father. And just so much anguish in his face. Like, it just, oh man, you could just feel it with him. Like, this can't be right. Like, this can't be. It's impossible. No, like, that to me, Mark Hamill really just poured one out. Like, he just went all in on that performance just to make it that much more special. But yeah, there are so many moments in Star Wars that I love, and so many great moments by the actors, which really is what makes it my favorite franchise and movies of all time. Next up for questions, this comes to me from James M, the Crazy Gamer Historian 1999 at Robin McCormick on Twitter. He asks, Q&A, do you hope Kyle Katarn returns to canon with a new history? Yes, 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 absolutely yes. If you do not know who Kyle Katarn, he was a character in the Expanding Universe and Legends. I first learned of him from playing this game called Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. And I had this on a GameCube, and it's this character you start out using blasters, right? It's a first-person shooter at first. But then, like halfway through the game, you go to the Yavin Temple, and it's Luke Skywalker with his new Jedi Academy. It's after Return of the Jedi. So it's just all this new uncharted territory, and you learn how to use lightsaber. You go to Bespin, you go to Cloud City, you're slaying dark Jedis, cutting off their arms. Then you're going back to like Yavin and all this really cool stuff. You're going to, I believe it was like Nar Shaddaa, killing lots of Grands and Rodians, and it's just a really great game. But there's so much more with the character of Kyle Katarn. Like, he actually was in the very first one called Dark Forces, which is like a Wolfenstein-esque, like 2D shooter, basically, one of the first ones coming out. But yeah, he's been in lots of, I believe, Legends novels probably at this point. Lots of other things. He's this kind of smuggler dude who's kind of on his own. He's on the fringes of the galaxy, just causing havoc, but he's also working with the rebellion. They've had a Fantasy Flight Games ship that he has. Like, there's lots of content that surrounds this character, and he's got such a great history that I think it would be a misstep for Lucasfilm not to ever include him back in canon. I mean, we've gotten Thrawn back in canon, so I don't see why they couldn't put him back in canon. Like, maybe he could have helped Luke Skywalker start off the Jedi Order. Maybe we'll see him in a future movie. That'd be pretty cool, or at least an animated series or something, or like a comic book series. He's kind of got a similar style, I would say, to like a Kanan Jarrus. Like I was saying, he's really good at blaster at first, but then he turns into a Jedi. So yeah, let's see him come back. Like I'd really love to see Kyle Katarn come back, maybe just as much as like Dash Rendar or Prince Zizor at this point. Like, those are like the top 3 people, now that I'm thinking about it, that I want to see come back. But yeah, great questions by both of you guys. If you guys have a question, please let me hear it in the comment section down below. Make sure you hashtag it Star Wars Weekly, or you can also tweet it to me at Starrapter using hashtag Star Wars Weekly. So next week, you guys can look forward to Star Wars issue number 60. It's going to be pretty epic with Sergeant Creel versing Luke Skywalker again. So what do you guys think about this week's releases? Let's talk about all in the comment section below. Also, what is your favorite Age of Republic comic so far? I want to hear about it all in that comment section below. Guys, I've uploaded 2 new book reviews in the last week. I have Queen Shadow. It's not coming out until March 5th, but that's okay because you can pre-order it wherever books are sold, so check out that review. I also just put up my review of the Hondo-centric novel called Pirate's Price. Really fun book, so make sure you check out both of those reviews. And if you like this content, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll never miss another video. That is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.